Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Let's Talk About It, Steph. In this technical world, we're always going to have some type of issues, but I think somebody's trying to censor your girl. But you know what? I'm on here, and of course, I brought two special guests on here with me, and I'm not going to be switching them around, so y'all just going to have to deal with it tonight. You hear me?
Deal with it.
I'm telling you. So let me introduce our special guest tonight. We have Nick Pappas. He is running for Texas governor. I, Let me put on a little softy for you. Yeah. And then we have no one but the only one. Pinning Mallet to the ballot is on here. Black Coalition, President of Denton County.
Y-
Yay!
Yes, let's talk about it.
Yes. So, of course, y'all, we have lots of hot topics to talk about tonight. But before I get started, because I'm going to try to be good. So, I'm going to need y'all to be good with me tonight, okay?
Okay.
All right. So, today, the news interrupt me when I was watching General Hospital to let us know that, what is his name? Mr. Charlie Kirk was at a rally at Utah University and he lost his life. They're still looking for the suspects that did it. So what I'm going to say is I'm going to send my condolence to his family, and my disclaimer on this is there is no place anywhere for violence. Both sides have issues, but there's no place for violence. And this stuff has to stop. And whoever is causing the heat to be so high up, you need to turn it down because you're the leader. You need to turn it down because people are losing their life behind unnecessary. What happened today was very unnecessary, regardless of how we feel about this person. He had a family. And I'm a
Yeah.
moving on. And I'll let y'all talk about that too later. But what we're gonna do tonight, we're gonna be asking Mr. Nick some questions. So Nick, you ready to get in the hot seat?
I'm ready.
And Penny, you can ask questions if you like because Nick is running for governor. So we need to know exactly what Mr. Nick stands for. And Nick, the panel is hot. You got two hot girls on here, and we're gonna talk about some stuff. You ready?
I'm ready. I was born
All
ready.
right.
All right. So we're going to talk about today about countywide voting sites in Denton and government takeover in Chicago. We know it's a lot of stuff. Boy, that's some hot stuff. Congress and the Epstein file. And we're going to also talk about the controversies with, well, we got Nick Pappas as a controversial. Ooh, you're a controversial, Nick?
I am very controversial.
Okay. Well, Nick, we're gonna be asking you some questions. Nothing hard, but we're gonna get into the hot topic a little bit, and then we'll jump back to you. Okay.
Alrighty.
All right. Here in Denton County, in Denton County, countywide voting sites are a game changer. Instead of being locked to one precinct, you kind of have to cast your ballot at whatever your precinct is, except for on early voting. So we have huge issues that we're trying to get solved, but looks like our commissioners do not want to listen to us. So every Tuesday, y'all sign up before Tuesday and go down there to the commission office and let them know that, hey, we want county-wide voting locations on election day. We need to move into the 2025 year. It is 2025, and we need countywide voting locations everywhere. It makes it so much easier for our people who want to go out to go vote. That cuts down on voter suppression, that cuts down on paperwork, that cuts down on a whole lot and the stress on the judges and the clerks that do nothing but try to help the people. So, what's y'all thought on that?
Well, it's frustrating. Like for me, for one, I work the elections, and when they come in and we're always redistricting, they voters don't know that they've been redistricted. So they're so used to coming in and voting at one location, and then they find out they've missed early voting because we don't advertise early voting because we don't want them to come vote early. So they come in on election day to vote, and perhaps it could be like the last 2 hours of voting, and then they stand in line and find out that they're in the wrong precinct, in the wrong election office to vote, and then they have to go across town, and we have to look it up and send them. And it's frustrating for our voters. And we already have low voter turnout in Denton County, well, in Texas, period. So it's something that needs to happen. I'm scheduled to speak next month. If we can get people to sign up, you can go on to your county commissioner's website and sign up to speak. We would appreciate you coming out and talking about maybe expressing some of the things that you've gone through in voting, maybe not having the proper ID and waiting till the last minute, but it's something that we need to address. We know that our governor is not for that. This is the reason why he hates Houston, Harris County, is because they had the drive-through elections, and they are in the 25th century. I mean, the 25th 2025 century, and that's why he hates them. So, our county commissioners, honestly, I don't see them changing here in Denton County, but that's on us because we keep voting in the same ones over and over again for whatever reason. What do you think, Nick?
I don't think that we're voting in the wrong ones. I think we're just not voting in the right ones. So the more people that we can get to vote, the better chance that we're going to have to actually see meaningful change. Because right now, the Republicans have been doing what they have been doing. Since they can't take away the votes, they have to suppress and disenfranchise as much as humanly possible.
I agree. I agree with you. I do.
Hello, Moto. Sorry about that. I guess they don't know. I am live tonight. Penny, you such a hot girl to where you already getting people up there saying, "Hi, Miss Penny."
I see. Yeah. I see they're checking me out tonight.
They are, they are, they are. And we got Tony that said, "Hello, all."
Yes, we are all Denton County strong here.
I
We're
love it. I love it. I love it. Hey, my Denton people, help the girl out. Make sure y'all subscribe, 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 subscribe. You know, I like to go live, y'all. I like to go live. I like to go live everywhere. I'm sticking a camera in everybody's face.
we need that.
We
Everybody needs
do.
to speak up.
We exactly. That's how we're gonna make change. And with this party, you know, this platform is open for it to everyone. But I like to talk, and I like to get to the root of the cause, regardless of who it is. So if you get your feelings hurt, you get your feelings hurt. But at the end of the day, if you're a candidate and you want the people to know who you are and what you stand for, you better speak your talk and walk your talk, because if you can't do it, they ain't gonna vote for you. So this is the place where you set the record straight. That's
That's
why
right.
let's talk about it. Steph.
Yes, we're not gonna go out searching for you. You gotta step up to the plate.
That's right. Ain't nobody got time for that.
Yes, yes.
All right, let's go move on to the next subject, y'all. You ready?
We're
So
ready.
okay. We're gonna talk about the government takeover in Chicago. Now, the governor of Chicago got on the news. He did a whole news press and said, "Hey, I don't need them in my town, in my state. I don't need them in my town. We don't need them here in Chicago." The mayor got on and said it. The senator got on there and said it. The police chief got up there and said it as well. So why, as of right now, we got boots on the ground and they're trying to give them folks weapons?
Well,
I'm at loss. I'm at loss. But I can say that this one of the senators out there, I didn't catch her name, but she said that the Navy people, they're kind of giving the ISIS a place where they can go to, not to store people. They do have a place where they have their live weapons at, but they are not involved in any of the other issues there. But my thing is, if the governor, who the people elected, said, I don't need you coming to my house, you would think that a person will respect that and not bring them to their home unless they ask for it. But some people want to do what they want to do. And I'm like, I'm at a loss for words, but the people are standing strong. They have been standing on business all week ever since it happened out there. But I'm gonna tell y'all, Chicago a little bit different than California. Them some
Yes,
rough,
ma'am.
and they're not gonna put up with that stuff. So y'all gonna be calling the active duties in a minute, and we don't want that, and we do not want martial law. So y'all, if any of my viewers are from Chicago, y'all please, please, please don't act up.
Yeah,
Don't
Chicago's a different animal.
exactly, because that's exactly what they're waiting for you to do. They're waiting for you to act up so they can call martial law. So don't do it. Protest. Make sure you license where you're supposed to be at. Don't bring no weapons with you. Protest. But do not act upon violence and don't be looting. Thank you. So what y'all think about that?
Well,
Nick,
Nick,
Nick, Mr.
Oh, I'm
Military.
always going to let Penny go first.
Okay, well come on
you know,
in.
I think that we should act like it's COVID again. Stay in your house. Don't be leaving. Shop online. Have your food delivered to you. Don't shop in those people's stores. Let them know that if they want them to come to Chicago, then the business people are going to have to complain about it, because Chicago's a different animal. Now, he said that they're just going to have them at federal buildings and not out in the community. But as we know, in DC, they were stopping people and having them show their identification and um, where they live and searching their cars. And that's not going to go well for them in Chicago. That's not going to go well for them in Chicago. So
Exactly.
I'm afraid that, that the people are going to react. So I don't know where they plan on sending them, if they're just going to send them to the federal buildings like he says he's going to do, but it's not going to go well for them in Chicago.
It's definitely not. It's not. This is not. This is not California.
Right.
California people, they'll look nice. They'll try to
Hmm.
let that to a certain degree, but
Yes.
at the end of the day, we can't have this.
No. Nope. Nope. Chicago.
Eugene says shop. He says he agrees shop online. And you know what? I think that's what we have to do. If they're gonna bring their people in here, and I hate to mistreat our military folks because they're already being mistreated. Because what y'all fail to realize is those National Guards, when they are deployed, they don't get paid, and they definitely don't get the benefits that they're supposed to get after 30 days. So they only gonna keep them there for probably 27 days, so they don't have to keep them there 30 days and they have to pay them active duty benefits. So
Hmm. Yeah.
and they don't have the housing. Okay.
Right.
So our people are probably sleeping on the ground. So, they said they wanted to get rid of homeless folks and stuff. So they're not feeding them. So they're not equipped. They don't have things in place to take care of our soldiers. So
No, they don't.
I have a problem with everything. I
Yeah.
just have a whole problem with everything. I'm a military wife and I have an active duty daughter, and I would hate to see any of my soldiers having to be sleeping on the ground. They don't have food. They don't have what they need, and they shouldn't be there. We got too much other stuff going on. Like, let's just say you stirring up stuff all over the world. We got too much stuff going on to be worrying about a state in a city that don't even need us.
Blue state, and they are paying for that. I understand they're paying for their own meals. That they don't have ready-made meals for them. They're away from their families. Some of them have a lot going on at their jobs that they're away from. So yes, and plus you're asking them to do something to the citizens of the United States of America, and I'm sure they
Yeah.
have a problem with that.
Nick, You ex-military, speak up for your folks.
Well, they had every opportunity to reject these orders.
Ooh.
So, we're not sending our best. But in all seriousness, it's very important that everybody understands that if anybody was to attack these guys, like agitators, or I know that this wouldn't normally happen in Chicago because they are historically very pro law enforcement, but the moment that you start putting your boot further down on people's necks, the more they want to fight back, not roll over. And that's what this government is counting on. They're not sending it to any of their red states, red cities that they talk about are the bastion of American freedom. They're sending it to places where, as an example, the mayor didn't want to kiss the ring. He was critical of the administration, so the administration's like, hey, I'm going to intimidate you and send a message to everybody else. And nobody's accepting that message. So he's kind of shooting himself in the foot. But he's absolutely able to do whatever he wants thanks to the Supreme Court.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
that's one of those ones. They want. Diane said they want to riot, and Tony said they only getting deployed for 29 days.
Yeah,
And it's
if
racially
they're deployed for
motivated.
31 days, then they'll receive the additional per diem, as
Yeah.
well as any other benefits that come with whatever that deployment is. I was never deployed stateside, so I never had to worry about that humanitarian stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is like completely different than what I'm used to. I'm used to them going off somewhere.
Yeah, you should not be
Or
used to this. No, that would be
no.
even
No.
scarier.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
That's just really crazy though. Thank you, Nick, for your military part because now listen, if you wind up putting the army and the Marines out there, we're gonna have a problem. So I really hope that Homeland Security, y'all need to sit back down and rethink this whole thing out because I don't think you're gonna get what you think you're gonna get. I'm gonna leave that right there. Now you think about what I just said because some of y'all probably wasn't in the military or been in anybody that was around military and know what I'm talking about. But those of y'all do know exactly what I'm talking about because people took oath. I'm just saying.
Yes, they did.
Hmm. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I think y'all need to reverse. Put this
Eh,
bad boy in reverse and go back to your little room and think about what you're gonna do. Like what McDonald's meal you want to get. Let's switch that over.
And it's racially motivated. We know that.
It
So
Oh, of
is.
course.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, Chicago's a dog whistle for the N word. We all know this.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
But be
Yeah.
careful what you ask for sometimes. Be careful what you ask for. But I agree. I think, if we have any of our Chicago peeps listening, try to, and just everybody, stay home. Act like
Yeah.
it's COVID again. We did it for 18 months. We can do it again. We can do it
You
again.
I agree with you because you know what? I hate to say this, and like I was gonna say earlier, shut it down. Don't nobody go to work. Just
Don't spend
completely
no
shut.
money. Work from home. Don't go out as it is. Businesses are already closing around Denton County. We have some restaurants that have been open 20 and 30 years that are starting to close. People are not going out to eat because of the economy. So just tack that on. We're already boycotting Target and Walmart anyway. So just tack it on. Stay home.
Target
Eat
lost so
at
much
home.
Yeah.
money. It's awesome.
Yes, and then what
Yeah.
did they do? They got rid of, well, they did not. They changed their chairman to CEO, and the CEO is going to be chairman. So what does that tell us? Nothing's changed.
Oh, no,
Exactly.
but
Because they
names
still have
moved.
that same mindset.
Well, if you dig down and you did some research, names moved around, but nothing has changed. Yeah,
Nothing. Still a good old boy system going on.
That's
Well,
corporate
thank y'all
America.
for that.
that's
Yeah.
America, period.
Let me see. Tony said minority protests are a liability. Those with privilege should be on the front line. I agree with you, Tony. Tony,
Absolutely.
I'm gonna have to wind up bringing you up on here because you putting too much stuff on here for me to read. And I don't have my glasses on.
Wait,
Yeah,
what are
we
you
need.
Thank
reading?
you for everyone to
She's
protests
reading
in the
the
streets. She said, "Black people do not show up because
no,
then the
no.
deadly force will be activated." Yes, we've been telling our folks, Nick, if you've been going to any protests or any rallies, that's why you haven't been seeing people that look like me or Penny out there. Because the simple fact is, we got that orange man up there that's waiting for us to show up. He's waiting for us to fight. He's just waiting for somebody to do something stupid so he can do what happened in Alabama when Representative Lewis went out there to go fight.
And we're
So,
part of the 92 and 86%. So we did our part. So
yeah,
if you want to make a change because you know you voted wrong, then knock yourself out and go out there and protest. We will be sitting at home ordering Uber and working from home. And that's what we're telling our people. Stay at home. Stay home. Don't give them what they want because we don't
yeah,
have to. Stay
exactly.
home.
'Cause exactly, exactly, exactly. I love that. All righty, let me give you a hand clap, crowd applause. We love you, Peter. We love you. We love you. All right, y'all. Let's move on to the next one. Whew. I don't know what to do. Hire my kids, hire my I don't even have grandkids. So okay, I'm gonna hire my granddog. I'm gonna have to hire Bentley because this Epstein file thing is going hot, and I never believe in a million years because they said they were pro-life and they're for the children, and they want to make sure that all the kids are safe. But guess what they did? They voted to protect pedophiles that's in that list. Can you believe that?
And what's so funny is it's kind of like the O.J. Simpson thing. You know, Trump done got away with all this, but then the Epstein files seem to be the one that's going to bring him down.
Yep.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes. So you're talking about the birthday coloring book or card or whatever?
I don't know which one you want to pick because he said a lot. I mean, there's birthday. Hey, when I turn, how old will I be? When I turn 55, I want a birthday card, but I want it with tigers, LSU Tigers. You know, I want
You
the
don't,
Cowboys and the Saints to sign my birthday card. That's what
you
I
don't,
want. I
you don't
don't
want
want what they
Epstein.
got.
You don't want Epstein handing out balloons to little kids.
That's see, that's why them kids scared of clowns. That's why they scared of clowns.
Oh Lord, yes, yes, yes. That's gonna be the thing that bring him down. And unfortunately, um, we wish there was other things, but hey, whatever it takes. If that's it, I'm all for it.
I think it's gonna be more to it. I'm like, I hate to say this, and Nick, back me up on this, or let me know if I'm wrong on this one or not. But he keeps on messing up the Constitution and avoiding what the law said. He's pushing himself in a way where I feel like he's it's treason, because he's doing things that's not right, and Congress is not backing him up behind it. I don't know. It's gonna be some stuff coming up real soon. So I'm gonna tell people this month is what is it? Preparation, makes emergency preparation, and they've been showing it a lot. And you've had the New York mayor talking about have your go bag ready. I'm gonna tell y'all. Remember when watching the movie about the waves and stuff like that, the end of the world? When they tell you to have your go bag for hurricanes, and hurricane season is probably almost over. Cold, cold, cold. Get your emergency bag and know exactly where you're gonna go. So y'all need to start having family meetings and decide what you're gonna do. Make sure you have some bling bling blings ready. You better go get it now before they say you can't get it because it's an emergency. I'm just saying, y'all, I'm on YouTube, so I have to kind of like watch what I say. But those that y'all know me, y'all love me, y'all know what I'm talking about. So go get ready. Be
Yep.
ready so you don't have to get ready.
Get ready. That's right. That's right. Get your money out the banks. Be ready so you don't have to get ready. If you stay ready, it's all good.
Hey, wait a minute. Miss Diane is saying Then us white people screaming, what does democracy look like? This is what democracy look like. I ain't messing with you. I'm not messing with you tonight. I am not. Nick, what do you have to say about this Epstein file?
Well, it's disgusting. It's obvious. And the fact that because the Republicans have all three branches of government and the majority of local governments, literally nothing will happen, even if everything is leaked. And that's the worst part. Until 2026, and we could actually vote in enough Democrats to do something about it, if he was to release it right now, literally nothing would happen at all. A little bit of cultural pushback, a couple of jokes online, nothing legal.
Depends on what leaks, Nick. What if Melania's in some of those? I think that's the real problem.
Oh, you heard them bring up Bill Clinton. We already knew he
Yeah, we
was.
already know about Bill
But
Clinton,
remember
but
that those would be federal charges. So Trump would just pardon whoever would actually get in any kind of trouble with it.
yeah,
Yeah,
but he doesn't want us to know that's how he met his wife.
Right.
That's
we already.
we,
Well,
I,
they bring.
but for people to see it, that's a different story.
Yeah, with the victims that came out last week and they were talking about it. I don't have enough words to express how I feel about that because they kept this for over 30 years, been in pain for over 30 years. One young lady had took her life earlier this year because it was just too much. You know, those folks that were being abused, they had been threatened, their families had been threatened if they spoke. It was a lot of stuff around it. So when you say, well, why didn't you go out there and go say something? Well, they couldn't.
They couldn't. They couldn't.
You know,
Yeah. And then you got Marjorie Taylor Greene on the other side of this. That just blows my mind.
yeah. It's just a hot mess. But we're
Yeah.
gonna move on, y'all, to something a little bit more pleasant. So Nick, you in the hot seat, my buddy. You are in the hot seat. You ready? You
All
ready?
day.
All right, Nick, this is a question for you. Nick, you're running for governor of Texas. So let's get right into it. Texans are worried about six big issues, and I'm going to name them: productive rights, reproduction rights. That's one. The economy. And what I should have put number one: THC and marijuana reform, gun control, education, and of course, the border is going to always be an issue. So let's start with reproduction rights. Nick, what is your stance on that?
I'm pro choice. That's the short answer. So, with reproductive rights, it should just be tied into women's health care just in general. And the reason why is because it's not just abortion that's on the table. It's also contraceptives. It's also prenatal care. It's also mammograms and pap smears. It's all of these things. Because when they found out, oh, we can get rid of abortion, then they started applying pressure to the Planned Parenthood. Planned Parenthood nationwide, 1% of their business is abortion. The rest of it is actually just taking care of women. And the right doesn't want to hear that. They're just like, oh no, they've probably killed 1 billion babies, so we need to get rid of them too. And now people are losing access to contraceptives. People are losing access to medical care that they wouldn't otherwise have. People are losing access to STD testing. Like, there's horrific amounts of problems with their crusade against a woman's right to choose. And so that's why in my platform, I want women's health care in general codified into law so it can no longer be used as a talking point for politics.
But is it really a problem, Nick? Because, That's what the Democrats stood on last time with Kamala Harris, and the white women showed us that that's not a problem.
So it's a huge problem, but only for people that it affects. Empathy is at an all-time low in America. And so you see all of these Republican women that get pregnant in Texas and they're like, oh crap, I can't get an abortion. And then they go somewhere else and get it. Like it's horrifying. And then you have actual Texans who are dying because of this. We've got doctors in emergency rooms telling women, "Oh, hey, this baby's going to kill you. You need to get on a plane right now." What? Why would we have to do that? Why wouldn't they be able to receive medical care in Texas? Well, that's because it's a blanket ban for all of this kind of healthcare. So regardless, if there's a possibility that the fetus could be terminated, then it's illegal, and the doctor could lose his license and go to prison, him or her. But that's why it's a problem. It's not because it's like, oh, no abortions. It's because it's affecting so many other things, and that's by design.
But they didn't vote that way.
Well, yeah, that's because a lot of people are single issue voters.
And that
Like a
single
lot of
issue
people,
was
they will
AIDS.
ignore
That single issue was
absolutely
AIDS.
everything for one thing. And that's the dumbest thing that you could possibly do.
Okay.
All right. Well, let's move on to the next question. Economy. Of course, we are struggling big time with the economy out here in Texas. There are businesses that are like Penny just said earlier. There are mom and pop stores and restaurants that are closing down left and right. The farmers are having issues because okay, they did vote that way, but they're having issues because they're not getting any federal funds. So, where's your stance on the economy and what can you do?
Just talking about the farms, we're losing one family farm a week in Texas. That's how bad it is. But as far as the economy is concerned, I want to tax businesses fairly because right now they're not paying taxes. I want to tax our billionaires fairly because they're not paying their taxes. I want a $25 minimum wage statewide, not just in massive cities, but also in the small rural towns because everybody deserves to have a living wage. I want to make sure that while we're also talking about the economy, we're talking about all of our support programs because those are very necessary for the economy. Right now, our Texas benefit contracts like SNAP and all of those things, they're having businesses actually dole out those contracts. So the federal government is like, oh, hey, this business, you take care of SNAP and make sure that everybody's eligible, but they want to skim off the top. The more people that are on SNAP, the lower their margin is. So they kick as many people off as possible and keep as many people off as possible. Then when we're talking about the economy, we also need to talk about people have jobs. They have to get to those jobs. They need to use the roads. So the vast majority of our roads are under construction, and they have been for the last 9 million years, and they will be until the heat death of the universe. But then we also have toll roads. We shouldn't have toll roads anymore because we've already collected enough money to pay off those roads. The problem is we keep giving other businesses those toll roads, and so they keep profiting from it. And they're profiting off of everybody else's low wages because everybody else is having to pay this money to make it to work within 2 hours.
In Dallas.
No, over here too.
Over
In the
here
entire
where?
in the entire Northeast Texas, there's also the same problem in Houston. Like it's
No,
universal and it's hilariously terrible.
Houston doesn't have that many toll roads.
But they
It's
still have the same issues.
gridlock. It's gridlock. My question is this, and this is something that maybe when you get ready to go and debate with Abbott or whatever. First of all, why do we have toll roads that are not benefiting the state? Because the person who actually have the toll roads, if I'm not mistaken, it's in Spain. Spain owns the toll roads.
You are not
So
mistaken. There is foreign land ownership in Texas, and the toll roads count.
So if you want to kick foreign people out, and I might be jumping ahead because that's also another topic with the Asian, you saying you don't want Asian to own property. So why do we have a foreign country on toll roads here that's affecting everyone here? They're not making our roads any better because we still in gridlock and traffic everywhere.
That's right. So also on my platform is no foreign land ownership. So that's corporations. That's also like legitimately foreign people, foreign companies, and that's to make sure that Texans own Texas. That's my big thing. Is you're going to have to actually have residency in Texas to own the homes in Texas. Because if you don't establish residency in Texas, why would you own an entire neighborhood and be collecting generational wealth off of a bunch of Texans that are forced to rent for their entire life?
Okay. Well, definitely in California, they have that problem that they allow a bunch of foreign people come over and buy up buildings, businesses, buying a lot of communities, investors. So we got investors throughout this properly this state that go in there, you put your house up for sale, and there they go, buying up all the homes and stuff. So people like myself and Penny, we want to go buy our retirement home, and we can't own it because the investors have it. And I'm like,
Exactly.
this here, and that affects the HOA as well because you don't have true homeowners that's paying for the HOA fees. So,
That's right.
okay, all right,
Yeah,
Nick.
that's happening in our communities. It's definitely happening in Louisville, and it all ties back to politics because then when you have the realtor association paying and giving money to our city council candidates because those are the candidates that they want in office so that they know that they can keep that going on in the community. So that's why they endorse those kind of candidates. When you have people that live outside of Louisville and other communities or other cities or other states that own property here in Louisville and the rent is going up and people are complaining about why their rent is so high, that's why their rent is so high.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, the next one. Now, I know it's going to be a lot of ears open for this one. Now, there's a lot of people that are highly concerned about this THC and marijuana reform.
That's the hot button, Nick.
Yep.
Hey, come on, Nick. We want to
All
know
right.
what you stand on this.
So, I don't like it, but I mean, I kind of agree with the age part. I mean, 21, alcohol, cigarettes, why not marijuana too? I'm not going to say it should be that way. It's hard to argue that one. There's also a loophole for THCA, I believe. It's a loophole that they use for a lot of the flower, the smokable, not the vape. And so they're banning that part. And so that's going to make businesses have to adjust. It's going to make a lot of people with either prescriptions or that just purchase it instead of spending money on prescription medications. It's going to affect them tremendously. So it doesn't really affect me because I don't smoke it. But also, I'm trying to make all marijuana legal in Texas. Of course,
Wait, wait, wait.
regulated.
Did I hear that right? Did you say you would like to make it legal in Texas?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And that's
All
through.
marijuana, right?
Oh, go
Marijuana.
ahead, Penny. Sorry.
You said all marijuana, right?
Yes, all marijuana, clearly labeled, clearly regulated, not purchased off the street or through some plug, but through an actual business. Businesses that have licenses, that have skin in the game. These businesses don't want to sell to kids. These businesses don't want to lose product or sell product at a fraction of the price for a fraction of the potency to people who shouldn't have it to begin with.
Right, right.
So we shouldn't treat Texans like we're all crack addicts trying to get it from some alley behind a Denny's off of 4th Street. I don't go there. I'm just saying that that's probably not where. But it's important that everybody understands this is purely control. This is not regulation. We had plenty of regulation. They're talking about, oh, it's a huge deal that we're finally getting clear labeling on packages. If anybody has ever been to a smoke shop and seen any marijuana product, they see the exact chemical composition on these packages. Like, they get so detailed with it because they are so scared that they're going to get sued. No other products have that kind of stuff. Can you imagine somebody actually
Hmm.
having the chemical composition of a cigarette on the package? Nobody would ever smoke those again.
I didn't know that. Okay. Okay. Hmm.
Yeah, I haven't been in a smoke shop. I guess I need to go in there, huh?
Oh, yeah. No, they're fantastic because the people actually care. As an example, I go into a smoke shop for gummies. So I enjoy going up. Oh, yeah, I got a prescription. But I go over there and I'm like, hey, I'm trying to get some gummies. And they're like, okay, well,
Oh,
what's your
gummies. I
blend?
thought you said gum. Oh, gum.
Totally
No,
different
gummies,
thing, Steph.
like chewables.
Gummies.
I, I was sitting up here like, no, I don't know any of that. What
Hey,
is? Okay, okay. I'm with you, Nick. I'm with you.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
but when I go, I talk to them about, oh, hey, I'm looking for THC to CBD and blah blah blah. When I talk like that, and I talk technically to these guys that make minimum wage, or they're the actual business owners that just started up their
Owner.
small
Right.
business. They know what the chemical compositions are. They know what the blends are. So that way they make sure that everybody is doing it safely and that they're doing it within their means. So that way nobody has those crazy panic attacks, bad trips, and so on and so forth. Like there's a large amount of business acumen that actually goes into this. But then you've got Patrick and Abbott saying, oh, well, they didn't know what we're doing, so we're going to have to do it. And it's like, they were doing better than you could possibly do. You don't even
Mm-hmm.
understand the product. I mean, Patrick was running around here talking about how it was killing people. And then he held up that little bag and then he's like, would you eat this whole bag? And I'm just sitting there like, yeah.
I would by accident. My shoulder hurt.
Well, and then the deaths that we're seeing with fentanyl, on the streets,
Yeah.
people that would take care of all that. Because we did it with alcohol, we did it with cigarettes, we can do it with marijuana.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
And there needs
Maybe
to be an age limit.
maybe they need
Yeah.
to give him a couple of gummies and he'll be okay.
Yeah, the age limit's fine. The distance from the
Yeah.
schools for specialty smoke shops, just like for specialty liquor stores.
Yeah.
Like that's not a problem. Like that makes
Right.
good sense. But
It
the
does.
problem is it's over-regulation because of the other parts of that bill.
So,
Oh, I'm
so
sorry,
would
that
you
wasn't
be,
a bill. It was an executive order.
Order, right.
So he's literally just doing this without the legislature, like he
Just
could have
coming
done in the
down.
very beginning, which means I'm going to be able to undo it with an executive order. It's going to be fantastic.
okay, okay. Well, let's go move on to this one. Now, this is a hot subject because we've had uh, a shooting in Colorado today,
Yeah.
and we also had that to happen in Utah. So, I'm finna get ready to ask you about gun control.
Yep.
Where's your stand on gun control?
So I am pro-gun, but when I say I'm pro-gun, that's usually when people tune me out. Now, I want to pass the most progressive gun laws Texas has ever seen in its entire history. I want to make sure that we have mandatory background checks for all new gun purchases.
Mm-hmm.
I want to make sure that we have safe storage laws. I want to make sure that we finally institute red flag laws. Now, the red flag laws is more for the gun owners than it is for the gun haters, even though the gun haters might think it's a victory for them. The problem is right now there are no red flag laws in Texas. So the cops, whenever they show up for any kind of crime whatsoever, doesn't matter, serving a warrant, serving papers, or actually going to arrest somebody, they can take the weapons. Full stop, don't get them back, go screw yourself. Now, if we had red flag laws on the books, it would have to go through a judge. The judge would then mandate that they get the guns back over whatever certain amount of time. Like, oh, they complete their debt to society, or they give it to a family member, or whatever. And the way that I explain the red flag laws is, hey, listen, if you don't punch your wife, you get to keep your guns. How cool is that? So, and then we've got the mandatory background checks on new gun purchases. Not on the old gun purchases. You've already got your guns. That's fine. But mandatory with all new gun purchases. And that's going to stop the gun show loophole to where people are just not getting background checks, not even getting checked. Do you have an ID? Do you have cash? Let's make this transaction. We need to stop that. So the state can create a hotline for the private gun sellers to use And if they use it to actually do that background check, they will get state-backed immunity in case there's any issues after the sale. So if they sell the gun and the guy goes and shoots somebody, the gun owner didn't know that was going to happen because he already did the background check, and the state said, you know what, that's going to be fine.
Nick, I'm not sure. I don't like the gun shows that you could just go to the mall and they having a gun show this weekend and purchase a gun. Even with the red flags, even if they call it in, I just think that that's just a bad deal for Texas.
Yeah, but they do it with absolutely everything. So, and that's the worst part is you can only regulate so much before it's straight up overreach. So, as an example, they have the same thing with motorcycles. They have the same thing with liquors. They have the same thing with all these. They have the same thing with reptiles. Like, there's so many different things where they have all of these shows where they just do private purchases that we just have to just try to make it as safe as possible where we can, because prohibition will just straight up lead to just disregarding the laws, which it always has in the past.
So let me ask you this: what do you think about the parents or whoever the kids are shooting up other kids and shooting up schools, but the parents are owning these guns and the kids are getting the guns from home? Should the
Yes.
parents be charged with the crime? Now, I know they did one parent because she called or the dad called and they started drawing. But I think whoever the kids are getting the guns from should be responsible for that.
I agree 100%. And that's what I was talking about with the safe storage laws. So if the parents are keeping the guns in a safe and the child does not have access to that safe, but gets access and uses the weapon, that's the
that's
kid's
different.
fault. That's not the parent's fault.
No, that's different.
But, no. And that's why I want safe storage laws, because if the parents are just leaving the guns out, or in no joke, I actually saw this in one of those China cabinets that they call a gun cabinet, but it's a China cabinet. Come on. But they just had it there. And so the kids had easy access to it. So if the kid uses a gun then, yeah, the parents should absolutely be charged. But also with red flag laws, Texas is 50th in mental health access and mental health education. So with that, that would help significantly. Problem is, every school shooting in Texas, not every mass shooting, but every school shooting in Texas, not everywhere else, just Texas, there is always some red flags prior to. There's always the school notifying the parents notifying the school, the parents notifying law enforcement, the school notifying law enforcement notifying the parents. All of these things are happening, but nobody is doing anything. So with the red flag laws, if the kid is showing signs of crisis, the guns are immediately taken from the home and given back once the crisis is over or the child is checked into a mental health facility.
But we don't take mental health in our state seriously.
Oh, I agree, yeah.
I have a brother that is not bipolar, but he's schizophrenic. And they tell my mom that they can't do anything until he does something to her.
Yeah, and it's horrifying. And like I was saying, mental health access and education, we're at the bottom of the barrel. Like, we're worse than Mississippi. How are you going to be worse than Mississippi? They can't even spell their state's name. Anyways, so what I want to do is a different policy on my platform is to actually reinstate mental health hospitals throughout Texas and actually fund them appropriately. So that way they don't try to lobotomize women for having an opinion, but they actually care for everybody that needs it, inpatient and outpatient.
And kind of go along with our communities. Here in Louisville, we started a new police program where we have police officers supposedly along with a mental health person, but right now we don't have a mental health person, so they do it via tablet along with
the crisis
crisis
counselors.
right but that costs money for cities to run those kind of programs, because you have to have the officers trained, and then you have to have backup officers, and you actually got to have somebody to help with the mental health crisis. So how do you see that plan into a role where the governor can expand that in our communities?
Absolutely. So we can identify these issues because every single year, pretty much year over year, we are increasing law enforcement budgets. at the cost of everything else. But the problem is a lot of these cities are getting 20 million, 40 million for parks. Like
Yeah,
just for
Diane
parks.
said
Kids are
Texas
going
raised money.
hungry, homeless people are unhoused, mental health people are getting shot by the police, but we're still using $40 million just in 1 year for a park. Now, I have a huge problem with that. But we can help the cities. We can show them the better way and hope that they do it that way. What I am a huge proponent of is local control. I don't believe that people should be voting for a mayor when we won't let the mayor make any decisions. So just bringing it right back to the guns, I don't believe that there should be a blanket assault weapon ban in Texas. Because in West Texas, you absolutely need an assault rifle. Now, when you say assault rifle, everybody thinks fully automatic assault rifle, Rambo, minigun, spinning barrels. Absolutely not. I'm talking semi-automatic assault rifles. That is the standard assault rifle.
So why do you
Fully
need them in
automatic, I
West
wouldn't
Texas?
imagine anybody would have any need for
Oh,
that. Like, we
why?
don't even use that when we go to war. Like, no. But semi-automatic in West Texas, you absolutely need it. Not a whole
Why?
lot of people realize how large hogs and wolves are, and in West Texas, those are a huge problem. A 9mm isn't going to stop a single hog, much less an entire pack of hogs.
You're talking about for hunting purposes?
No, no, purely to defend their land. So these hogs and these wolves actually tear up their livestock, their plants. It's a whole problem. It's not even hunting purposes. It's purely to defend their property and their families. So, because if you're working out in the fields and then all of a sudden you see a pack of wolves, do you want like a 22 long rifle? Like, no. Like, you want something that's actually going to pack a punch and save you and your kids' lives if they're out there too. When I was younger and we were raising horses, I was having to do all these damn chores. If I had hogs run up at me, I would be dead. Like, plain and simple. I'm 240 pounds. Hand to hand with a full grown hog, I would probably lose very quickly. I mean, Baratheon even lost in Game of Thrones, so you know they're tough. I'm just kidding. But it's very important that people understand that Texas is the size of half of Europe. We cannot have a one-size-fits-all solution. So
No.
West Texas, they should be able to say, you know what? Yeah, we need semi-automatic
Hmm.
rifles. And Austin, downtown Austin, why would anybody need a semi-automatic rifle? So downtown Austin can say, you know what? No, ban assault rifles in Austin.
So should they be registering those assault rifles?
So with the registry only goes with the background checks. So if they have the guns now, no. If there's anything that happens, yeah, they would be forced to register it just like they do now. So as an example, I could have an entire stockpile in my basement. If I never get in trouble, then nobody ever knows about the stockpile in my basement. But if I get in trouble and they search the basement, find a stockpile, they register every single weapon immediately.
So let's go back to the mental health because
Okay.
with mental health and gun, that kind of like goes hand in hand together. So let's just say I went to a mental health. I have not, but let's just say, for an example, I went to a mental health and I was depressed and all that stuff like that, right?
Mhm.
And I get out, and it might be 2 years from now, right? I get out and I say, I want to go buy me a weapon because I need to feel secure. What if in that red law that you would have something to where I'm flagged? Would you have a red flag for that for a person?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, because we don't have that because
Correct.
working in retail and I had to we sold guns. I know exactly how it feels when you gotta go and sell a gun because you nervous as hell because you know you the clerk, you're selling this gun and you don't want somebody to wind up getting hurt by it and it goes
Absolutely.
back to the company that sold it and you gotta make sure that you dotted your I and cross your T on that. But with me saying that, they have a lot of old forms that need to be updated because a person can lie and say, "No, I ain't had no mental health problems or anything like that. No, I don't think I want to kill myself today." So it needs to be updated.
Of
So that's a
course, yeah.
suggestion that I'm letting you know. I had that's just a suggestion. We need to have
Oh
some
no,
type.
I absolutely plan on doing it. So don't you worry about that.
Okay. All right. Eugene says think mental ill can't get assistance in Texas until they commit a crime now. This is not the way it used to be, but the Republicans cut off funding for medical care. Yeah, they cutting
Yes.
funds off of
Yeah,
everything, Eugene.
yeah,
Any and
yeah.
everything.
And Texas can afford to do it. We don't have to make the cities pay for it. The state of Texas can afford to reopen mental health clinics in all major cities. Not in every rural town. We don't have that kind of funding, but we can attach those to the rural hospitals.
Okay. Well, let's go. You know what? I'm gonna cut it off because of the simple fact is, Nick, you have answered a lot of great questions that a lot of people had questions on, and I know that you have something to say about education. So, education and border policy. I'm gonna let you answer those two questions right there. What's your stance on education, real quick?
Thank you so much. Public dollars should go towards public education, never private education. I believe in parent choice. I do not believe that we should supplement or fund that choice.
Okay. Border policy. That's a
We
big
need
one
border
in Texas.
we need border reform and immigration reform. We don't need a stupid fence. We need to use technology. We need to use LIDAR, radar, drones to help the immigrants go to immigrant centers to where they can be processed humanely for asylum, citizenship, whatever they're requiring. Because nobody is running across hundreds to thousands of miles with children because it's fun.
Okay. Well,
Technology.
Nick, I think you answered a lot of our questions that we have. Penny, you have any questions to ask Nick?
Yeah, what do you think about spending money on technology in Texas to help with not just border control, but to help people that are coming across the border to be able to get their paperwork and stuff done in timely manner?
Yes, what we should be doing is what they had during the Biden administration. They had an app that the Trump administration started using to actually hunt down the immigrants.
Yeah.
But they should be able to use an app to where they can see, oh, okay, your paperwork was processed 10 days ago, and they have to make a decision on it within the next 20 days. They should be able to see these things on their phone. So that way they're not stressed out about it. They don't get lost in the paperwork loophole. They don't find out, oh, I missed a court hearing. All of these things should be readily accessible to all of them for free. This will encourage smart and humane immigration, and it will build trust with the Texas government.
Okay.
Thank you.
So with that being said on that part, Nick, so it looks like we need more human rights activists to be helping or yeah, I guess you could say it like that. Activists that go out there and help the immigrants that's coming over. Do you think that you would be able to add more people because they need resources down there? Because obviously that's the problem that we don't have enough resources for the state.
Yeah, so that's a lie. So the government, the Texas government, and the federal government have repeatedly used the Texas border specifically as a battleground, and that's because when they're doing it, they're both Republican. You know what I'm saying? So it's never a problem when it's a Democratic president, but we don't know how it's going to be with a Democratic governor until I get into office. And then we're going to see that there are humane solutions that can be done with minimal resources, and we have more than enough manpower.
Okay. Okay. Well, thank you, Nick. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So, Penny,
Yes.
girl, you in the hot seat now.
Your
Uh-oh.
turn.
We got
Uh-oh.
Miss Penny in the hot seat. Penny, I just have a couple of questions to ask you because you are the lady of the Black Coalition, and I know they just did a press conference earlier today or this week. I watched it on YouTube where they were basically discussing about the redistricting. So my question to you, one of the main concerns that we have, the Black communities are facing, is economy. What is your stance on that?
Well, as of this summer, 2025, we had over 300,000 Black women lose their jobs
Mhm.
with this new economy. So it's just the redistricting is like part of it, but the whole DEI, I think everybody wants to think that when we eliminate DEI and we eliminate these Black women from their positions, that it's just Black women, but it's not. It's disabled. I think white women benefited from DEI more than anyone. It's the disabilities. It just encompasses so much in our communities, and it's a problem. And it's going to continue to be a problem, and Black women are the most educated women in the United States, are probably the most educated out of all of our residents in the United States. So our economy there's a problem with our economy. It has gone down. I think they said unemployment now stands at 7.5 as of August of 2025. That's a problem with our economy.
Don't let Trump hear that.
Yeah, well, he likes to hear what he wants to hear.
He's going to
Right.
replace Penny with me.
Because I'm a
Okay.
DEI hire for sure.
Now, Penny, last year you ran for our city council, and also earlier this year we had five schools closing. So, Nick, pay attention to these questions because you might be asked this later. We had five schools to close in Louisville. How does that affect the Black community?
It deeply affects our community because a lot of those schools are in that community. And I don't know if you noticed or not, but I substitute teach for LISD. And we just passed like $297 million bond and then another $300 million bond for sports. And our schools are still having problems.
So
Some of
let
our
me hear that
schools
one more time.
today,
You said the sports.
sports, yes. Not we did not vote on that once, we did not vote on that twice, but we voted on it three times.
Football is
Mm.
king.
So they rammed it down our throats until they got it done, and then they told them they were closing five schools. And we just found out the other day that we have a seat that's coming vacant. Dr. Buddy Bomber's seat's coming vacant. It's an at-large seat in our community. So instead of waiting till May to have the incorporate that into the election that we have coming up, they're going to have a special election for that one seat. And instead
Hmm.
of raising, I think it was $80,000 for teachers to get a pay raise, they're going to spend between 125 to $150,000 for that special election.
Wow.
That sounds
So
about
And we have
Texas.
you
kids
still
that
need
are
to
hungry.
clean house.
Talking about Louisville.
Wow.
That's my
So
backyard, Penny.
Yeah, yeah. So the problem to me with in my community in Denton County, our problem is our Democrats are voting for Republicans.
oh,
Now let that sink in. Now Louisville has a whole Republican city council now because they are voting in Republicans because they go to church with them and they know them. So it's okay. So how we overstep that problem, I don't know.
hmm.
Yeah. Hmm.
Wow.
I've got an idea.
Yeah. What?
I go to where they are. I go to their churches. I go to their meetings, and they don't like it.
No, they don't.
They don't like it when
And
they
they're
find
having.
out I'm a Democrat. Until then, they absolutely love me.
Well, you have an advantage that I don't have. When I walk in the door, my blackness leads with that. So they automatically think that you're a Democrat when you come in the door. So you're a male and you have an advantage when you're white when you lead when you walk in the door with that. But yeah, it's a problem. And I don't know how we get our community of Democrat voters, like when Kamala was running, and we had what 20,000 Democrats that didn't vote,
Yeah.
or 20, excuse me, 20 million Democrats that didn't vote because she was a woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
America is racist, but it's still misogynist.
It's misogynist first, then it's
That's
racist.
right.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Hope that answered your question. And another thing, a big thing in our community that's going on today is it started in Denton, and I posed this question to Louisville about the secret meetings about ICE and our police departments.
Yes. Yes. That needs to be a lot. It needs to be transparent. So my question is about that is why wasn't the city council involved?
Why? So our one of our city council one of our city council members addressed that today on social media and basically said that our city police will be working with ICE because it's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how do you think the residents of Louisville feel about that? But then I asked myself that Louisville is diverse. We have what
Yeah.
30 something percent diversity, maybe 40% in Louisville, but we don't vote. We don't vote. We have like 1 or 2% voter turnout, and that's what you get
So Penny, how's the healthcare out there as well?
in Louisville.
Yes.
Um, I don't know. I'm assuming we're not having problems with our healthcare in Louisville. To be honest with you, I don't know.
Okay.
I
Well,
don't know.
definitely. I know definitely we have a lot of healthcare issues when it comes out to our rural areas. So
Yes.
that is something that we really need. And that's something I had addressed it last year when I ran, that we need to have ER clinics in those rural areas because if you're in Wise County, I believe they shut down two of the hospitals down there. So they probably finally shut down the other one that they had in the Wise County area. So
Mm,
now they would, if you have a heart attack, or if you like me clumsy and you walk into things or you slip and fall, or something serious, a car accident, it's gonna take them 30 to 45 minutes
it could cost
to
your life.
exactly. And
Hmm.
God knows a lot of people cannot afford the life flight. They can't afford that.
Oh, yes. Right.
Nick, this is
Well,
probably something for you where we need to have some type of incentive to be put in place for doctors to go and invest in those communities so that way it has to be some type of hub there where people can go even if it's just like for a basic repair, but you can help save a life. It's worth it.
Absolutely.
In
I was
Texas,
in
you
Wise County yesterday. It was hard enough to try to find a gas station, much less a clinic.
oh my.
Ex- yeah, you definitely have to make sure you full before you drive out there because you're right. A lot of the old gas stations out there, they're gone.
Yeah,
Well,
just straight up shut down so fast Google hasn't even caught up to it yet.
Yeah.
well, see, that's not a problem in Louisville because we have over 140,000 residents. So we have hospitals, we have emergency care clinics, I, we have it. So that I don't believe that seems to be a problem in our community. But I understand that some communities, if you have a massive heart attack, then you're just as good as dead because you're not going to make it to the next community over to the hospital.
Yeah, Louisville is surrounded by cities, but then
Yeah.
you've got
No,
places like Decatur in Wise County. They got nothing.
Louisville is the city. We're surrounded by towns. Flower Mound is the town. Highland Village is the town.
I was
We,
thinking,
Louisville,
I was
He
Louisville,
thinking
said,
Denton
"Get
and
it
Fort
right,
Worth and
Nick."
Dallas.
Louisville is the city. Everybody thinks that Flower Mound is the city, but Louisville is the city. Flower Mound is the town. Highland
Carrollton
Village
is the
is the
city and
town.
Louisville is the town.
Did you
Louisville is the
did you hear
city.
that?
No,
Louisville
don't say
is
it.
a
Don't say it.
city.
She's gonna attack me.
Louisville is a city. We act
That's
like we're
right.
a town, but we're a city.
That's right.
Yes, 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 yes.
All right. Well, you
Ugh.
know what? I have definitely enjoyed both of you on here tonight. My co-host Dell is not here, and I miss him so much. Today is his
I do.
birthday.
Today's his birthday.
Yes, he's out in the Bahamas living it up and eating like
Oh,
a king.
nice, nice, nice.
So happy birthday. And I really want to thank both of y'all for coming on here. Nick, it was a pleasure to have you back on here again to make sure that people understand where you're coming from. I think I have a very good understanding where you're coming from, and a lot of the voters will too. This
Yeah,
is definitely live, and people are going to know who Nick is because let's be real, we don't have to like you. But you have to be the person that's going to be fighting for us Texans because at the end of the day, I've been here for 18 years, and this man has been in this position way too long, and it's time for change.
I plan
It's
on fixing that.
yes,
yeah,
it is.
it's time for change. Of course, I have to put the statement out. Let's talk about stuff. Do not endorse any candidates, but I give everybody a platform. I don't care who you are. If you want to come on here and say your piece and you want to get in the hot seat, come on, come on, come on, come on. Look for me on Let's Talk About It Stuff, and you can also find me on social media, Stephanie Draper. And I just want to say, Penny, thank you, thank you,
You're
thank you, thank you.
welcome.
And I look forward to having you come back on again when we have a all women's panel going to be on here. So Nick, you ain't gonna be on here because you're a guy.
I got wigs. We're good.
I'm just playing, Nick. You know you always invited, but we definitely want to make sure that we're going to have a panel. I'm working on that and getting some ladies together so we can talk about politics, what's going on in our healthcare because that's a big thing, and about women's right to vote. Because Penny, Nick, you might want to listen to this because our rights have already been taken away as far as we can what we can do with our bodies. But not only that, it's affecting our rights to vote.
About
So we're married, and you got to have a passport to prove that you can vote now.
yeah,
Yep.
So my birth certificate is different from my driver's license. So they're gonna voter suppress us women
yes,
that are married
that are married. Yes,
to not be able to vote. So
yes.
we definitely need to have some changes, and that's one of the things that I want to get a bunch of us women on here, and we're going to talk about that and how we feel. And I want to put some legislators on here so they can talk about, hey, we might need to talk to you about getting a bill put in place to overturn what these crazy men are saying because they don't understand. Well, maybe they do understand that we have the power and we run
They
this
do.
thing, and they're
I think
afraid
they
of
do.
us. Yeah.
That's
They're
why.
afraid. They're afraid of us because you know what? I wish the rest of these women would wake up and see that it's more strength if we work together than we work separately. We have to come together. Black, white, green, yellow, whatever. We all got to work together in
Not
order
the
to,
greens.
huh? The
I said
grays.
not the greens. No,
Not
not
the
them.
green. We're gonna leave the green women alone.
No green. Okay, not the green people. Okay, green people, you're not invited to the. You're
My
not
ex was a
invited.
green person. I hate them plenty.
Well, y'all, thank y'all for coming on
Good
here. It
night.
was
Thank you
great.
for having
It
us.
was great. And if those of y'all watching, please make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel so we can keep getting more candidates and pushing it out. Thank y'all for coming on here. And we are out of here. Okay. We are